Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hello. Today I am doing the hashtag 2022 Doodle Challenge APR for April. So this is a challenge that is hosted by Leigh and Julie, Leigh at Leigh's Art Studio and Julie at Art and Junk Journals with Julie, and it has been loads of fun. So what I'm doing here is I'm tracing a coin around the paper. Our prompt was curve or neurographics, and this is neurographic inspired, which Julie introduced us all to actually. Well, me anyway. And this is one of the ways that you can start it, where you trace a coin around the page, and I thought that was really cool because you get these really organic lines, and there were other prompts that we could have, and so I do add a few splatters and things as well. But with this, you do your lines and then you round your little corners and edges, and I love the look that this gives it. I thought I'd have a go on music paper this time, and actually this is a two-parter, so I'll release part 2 maybe tomorrow, maybe later in the week, maybe next week, depends upon when I get that one finished. But I did them all in the same session, and I wanted to show you them as well because I do a bit of a different take on it in one of them, so I thought I'd share that too. Why not? Anyway, so this is something I thought would kind of frustrate me going through all of these little pieces, but actually I really enjoy it and I just love the result. So it's totally worth it. I kind of thicken my lines as I go through. I just let my thoughts wander and I'm thinking of all different things. It's just really nice downtime. It's sort of like that wonderful time in the shower. Do my best thinking in the shower, but forget it all by the time I'm out. Anyway, it is enjoyable. I found it lots and lots of fun. Thank you, Julie, for introducing me. And while I'm here, waiting for me to finish this bit, please go and check out Julie and Leigh's channels. They have lots of other wonderful videos as well that are really creative and inspiring. Please go and check out the other people. You can look them up on the hashtag. Everybody's pieces turn out so differently. You get the same prompt. There's, a common theme, but they're still so unique and individual. It's just a really nice bunch of people too. They're all very generous and very lovely. Anyone can join this challenge at any time as well. It's an open challenge. And all you need to do is just link Leigh and Julie's channels and use the hashtag in your title. Then everyone else can find you too. And you just need to subscribe to Leigh and Julie and they'll subscribe to you too. So yeah, it's wonderful how many people have gotten involved and how supportive they've been. And everybody else has been so supportive of each other too. I love these kind of techniques and all these little things that we learn as we doodle away. Just something you used to do while you're on the phone in the old days because you used to be tied to one spot, didn't have mobiles. It's fantastic. Anyone can do this. It's not hard at all. I think it's one of those art forms that is so accessible and can look really, really effective. I've even been looking at lots of proper Zentangles. I didn't realise that you could actually be a qualified or a certified Zentangle teacher. So I got to do a class with one of those people recently, and I've been exploring Zentangles, which is a great way to find some new shapes. So yeah, everything in the doodle world is just fun, and I really love how so many more people are doing it now. So I decided to even do my edges, and here we go with the splattering. I was going to splatter by spraying. My stopper my little spray thing had clogged up, so that wasn't going to be happening. This probably worked better because it got more blotchiness and more spots on it, and then I did some ink and I thought that was going to be a lot lighter, and it wasn't, but that's okay. What I ended up then doing, you'll notice I ended up pouring out a bit of what I had in the bottle because that's quite watery. It's just water with ink in that, and I traced that around, and I love the effect so much that then I added some more drops so that I could let that water run around and play even more. So it took a while to dry, but it was a nice sunny day here in Canberra. Even though we're in autumn, it was one of those lovely, warm, sunny days that you get in autumn sometimes. It was really, really nice day to just sit outside and play about with ink and water and doodling, and it was quite blissful really. This is it dry. I wanted to just have a bit more blue tone around it, so I used a pastel. And that's a little hint for what one of the next pieces in part 2 coming up may entail. So as you can see, it just kind of softened it, drew it all in together, and now I just did my doodling. Now really, just having those shapes is probably enough for doodle. This is one of those new Zentangle shapes that I learnt. Apparently Zentangle is, I think it's 1 to 3 lines. Yeah, there are all these extra things. I just thought it was making different segments on your paper and filling each segment with the same pattern so that you had all different patterns. But no, there's lots of different ways to Zentangle, and you do them in little squares, and goodness, there's a whole world that I didn't realise. So that's something I'm enjoying exploring at the moment. Anyway, so that's just the first little block that I filled in, and I really enjoy doing those. And this is one of the things I love doing, is just filling little circles. I love how it looks like little cobblestones almost. Little circles, I just feel like is such an effective way. And of course, I had to have some of my circle bits that I like to do. I don't know, they're sort of tribal inspired maybe. They usually end up somewhere in my doodles. I just find, I don't know, they're kind of enjoyable to do. I like doing these, and I like doing lines with like different little patterns in between them. This is something else I tend to do, like they're sort of stylized flowers, I guess, is what you could say. I did find this particular one, it was a little bit hard to get into it first, and then I just kept putting pen on paper and it kind of did come together in the end. So I think that's something else, is sometimes you just keep going. You really are just exploring different things. Exploration, a little bit of off the beaten track. Hey. That is my excuse. I was kind of getting tired by this stage. So I haven't done a huge amount of detail, and that's where I ended up just doing these swirly things. So it was kind of me just chilling out a little bit more, zoning. I'm sure I can come up with more excuses. I'm very good at that. This made me think of almost a gingham feel. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a bit of gingham? I'm really just going by feel. There's no planning in this. I'm just playing about. I love adding a bit of a swirl in. And I think one of the things that's really kind of cute is to add a few darker patches as well. So a few blacks to give a little bit of definition. Now, obviously, with the music in the background, that was a little difficult. Now, this music page is actually quite aged. However, it looks really white against the black here, but in reality, it's not. So I'm glad I did add that extra blue, like with the pastel and everything. Now you can see, blacks also help you change your mind. So in this one, I did do those little strokes first to, make it look like they were little tubes going around. And I went, no, don't like that. So I just changed it and I added a bit more. And then see how that just lifts it once you add your shadow or your darker blacks into it? Wonder how much we can talk about blacks. All right, so I had to go a bit dotty. Do love going a bit dotty. When you're doing dots to fill in, you can obviously just do them as an even pattern. But another way to do them is you add more dots closer together around the edge, and then it looks like a little bit of a shadow. So that's one of the nice things about Zentangles and neurographics, is having that feel of dark at the edge coming into light in the centre. So it was just, I guess, a little ode to that in the back of my head. It wasn't conscious, it was just subconscious. This is something I really love doing. So simple, just a single line of dots around the edge. It's wonderful and it looks effective, and in the end this all felt good together. But I already had the idea here that I wasn't really making it as one big piece. I kind of am hoping to cut this into 4 to make some little journal cards. I think they would be quite interesting, and then I could just add a feature picture or a word to them to finish them off, maybe a little tag on the top. The other thing I thought was I could even do a a couple of little book covers. I love doing little mini notebooks and little mini books that go into bigger journals. I don't know. I like books within books within books. I think that's lots of fun. That's where my head is kind of thinking. So it's not really trying to pull the whole page together as a composition, even though it does kind of work like that in the end. It was more about trying to get some patterns that were interesting enough for smaller pieces. In some ways, just a different way to do a masterboard. That's what I'm considering with my doodles, is that they can actually become other pieces. I like the idea of using them in books. I used one on a page. It was just a black and white that I did on some beautiful grungy coffee coloured paper, and I used that in my big jumbo journal that I did, which I've pretty much finished. I got a video that I just put up on that this week actually. Almost done here, almost at the end. More little circles. Love the little circles. And again, I just really loved doing this challenge. It really is lots of fun. I think it's probably most fun because of everybody else who, does it with us. So it's a fun thing. Oh, and there's a Facebook group too. So please come and join the Facebook group and, share the doodles in there. So you don't have to share it here. I mean, you can just do it for yourself. But yeah, there's lots of places that you can enjoy exploring. So to finish off, I just did some outlines in the shapes, and I feel like that did really pull it together, and it just felt like it finished off those last few areas. All I did, as you can see, is just traced around those shapes that were left. And that's another nice way just to bring out some of the different elements. Again, I love the actual original squiggly lines and the effect that you get with those. It's just fabulous. Hi, J Bear. Just in the background there. He's really been enjoying along as I've been chatting about this one. See what I mean? Like those can just be individual little pieces as little journal cards, or even a little mini book that you could use. How cute! I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, lots of fun. Go and check out the others. I know that you'll find some things that you'll enjoy. You can like and subscribe below. And as always, keep creating. See you next time. Bye.